kind of feels like you're baiting me for some reason. And that seems really odd to me because the solipsistic argument is that you're baiting you then, right? Because I'm you, right? Coming up from the past, maybe a little bit, maybe not. I'm something like you, but I'm not you. But I'm something like you. Anyway, my point in that video was about structure and about the narrowing categorical static structures. You accuse me of being static, but the statist holds on to the term state statically. So it would seem. I mean, there's a lot of gelatin there, and I'm not denying that the gelatin variance, but there is also such a thing as viewing a primeval naturalism, which is not it's not willing, and it's not hoping, and it's not believing. It's the opposite of what naturalism is, right? But it's something terse. And so anyway, I guess the first shout out would be to Newton 1692. Like your thoughts. So anyway, there is this battle cry that's going on, and it seems to be occurring, at least in the anarchy side, as being a white argument, and it seems to be coded quite well, right? We do want coding, right? We don't want transparency, because if we get transparency, then that means we're bonded to the state. Of course, once again, the solipsistic argument would mean that you just came up with such a great idea, right? But this is problematic. It's problematic because we can state the difference between those who are thinking and feeling and those who understand, like I understand, that everybody's making arguments for a better world. I just think that they're putting the cart before the horse. And so anarchists are great in terms of political theory, and I guess what I'm trying to do is to note that, before Happy Land comes, and I don't know why you're telling yourself this, but before Happy Land comes, Unhappy Land comes. Something like pig flu, mass genocide, differences happening in the world. It's like a reactionary expression to my immediate environment. At least that's what might have me draw upon what it is I know in the past, and what I know in the past is Wittgenstein. But of course, you don't know Wittgenstein. You never read Wittgenstein, like you poo-poo on him. And I'm just here to make a little clarification about what you say is making a word static, which I really like, because it's using the verbus nounus function, which then made me think that you were trying to bring me around to an idea, loosen me up a little bit, and I'd have to say that you have loosened me up a little bit. I guess the point is that as the world melts around us, allowing old static words to become more gelatinous in terms of how this generation might reference it, as opposed to previous generations. Previous generations might have had a more blockish structure, but by previous generations, I mean previous depictions of generations, right? Things in the media, right? Because the media, let's say, is your unconscious. Now let's call that your subconscious, and let's call naturalism your unconscious, and then let's call non-naturalism unnaturalism, any words that we could talk about one another in a dead zone, right? And you might get the reason why you're telling yourself that the carriage is a push cart also. There's a labor of love. There's something terse in the argument. There's something wincy and whiny and not productive. And I believe that the problem with the anarchists is that they don't actually meet each other in person, that they're using a technology that has them by the balls. But see, then this would mean that this technology has you by the balls. But if you're a solipsist, then you're also the source of your own universe. And so why does any of your universe got you by the balls? By the balls, though, I'm simply meaning what happens if something happens and it's got you by the balls? Now, how could this be argued as hate speech if you're making it up? How could it be argued as non-hate speech because I didn't intend it that way? Wittgenstein might argue that that the words that we're sharing through this medium are objective, right? That it's in the grammar, my saying it. Now, this isn't a denial of thinking. It's anti-sympathetic to naturalism, but it's also an echo of something about the wider side of a genome, a geocode. The man's desire for machinery at all to compensate what he was not happy to find in himself. Oh, the ode to the great spirit of the American Indian or any dominated genocide population that echoes first homeland ripped away. And let's say that there's histories and histories of Caucasoids and Spanish and old Asiatic people, and then more recent Asiatic people coming across the water corridors, mingling in the West and generating an American Indian population to have white European dominance over this particular independence. Anyway, my point here is that anarchists make the words state and archon, static, right? They also use universally preferable behavior, and they denote something that is akin to naturalism, which is the vibration that you and I are speaking the same words. And the reason I bring this up in this doling manner now, kind of a ho-hum manner, is because there is a darkness, right, that is in the world, and it's beautiful and it's elegant and it makes a lot of sense, and there's a melting of fudge. There's a melting of slush. There's a melting going on in the world. And to add the duller side, the slower side, to find the particulars and the peculiars of a conversation, right? To find the edges and the borders of a conversation would be kind of nice. Anyway, oh, I want to do a shout-out video. I should have done one a little while ago. Because you're on it. You're on it. So Shawn, I'm curious what mine and ours and your ideas are about solipsism. Why don't you get back to me, your deep unconscious.